Hi, Dean Kobayashi here from the NS Stick channel. How you doing? Today I'm going to go over 6 steps to learning a cover tune, learning a song on any instrument, but I'm doing mine on the NS Stick. Um, I don't think this is specific to this instrument, but um, uh, there's going to be aspects about it that are specific to it, to the stick, to the NS Stick. But I think in general, a lot of these steps will apply to anybody who's trying to learn a new song, and some tips and tricks that you can probably pick up from this video. So the first step is to assess whatever song you are trying to learn. So you may have just heard a song on the radio, or you found a song somewhere, and you decide you want to learn it, right? And so you kind of have to set your expectations on what you are trying to achieve with that song. So for me, most of the songs that I do are very simple bass lines like you'd hear on a rock tune. Maybe there are some intricate lines on it as well, but usually pretty simple with chords on top of it and then singing on top of that. So it's like a power trio kind of thing, and I'll play along to a drum machine or a backing track. So that's me. Maybe it's an instrumental and you got melody lines and everything, and that's where you want to go with it. That's great. But make sure it's something that's something that you can achieve. It's really frustrating to be playing a song or learning a song and just it's really kind of out of my league, and it overwhelms me and it just turns me off. That could be an issue, but you also want to make it a little bit of a challenge for yourself too, so you continue to grow and learn new things. So it's a balancing act, but let's be successful in this, and that's my number one goal, is start from there, and you can always make it even more complicated or challenging on any song, but set your expectations and know kind of where you want to take the song and how you want to present it or what you want to do with it. So that's the number one. So for me, that is usually the kind of the singer-songwriter or the rock tune with like a guitar chords with bass and singing along with the drum track. Step number 2 is to actually find the chords. This is how I approach it. So I go online, just do an internet search on, just do a search on the song title, the artist name, and then put chords after that, just the word chord or chords. And there's a whole bunch of sites that actually have this. So, even video tutorials you'll find, but give the lyrics and the chords that go along with it. Sometimes go through a few of them, because sometimes the chords will be a little different because maybe they're using a capo, because usually for guitar playing. So sometimes it's hard to find a chord chart that doesn't have, that references the real chord and not the capo. If it does have a capo, that's what it says, then you're going to have to transpose it yourself. It kind of gives you a little, takes a little more time, but it's usually just, they say capo on the 2nd fret. That means you just got to lower everything by a whole note or 2 half steps, 2 frets worth. So, or up actually. Make sure you get it the right direction. So anyway, that's number 2, is to find the music or find the chords for this so that you know what to play. Me personally, I don't have a great ear to pick out the chords, and if I do, it takes me a very long time, and there's no need to, I personally think there's no need to reinvent the song if it's already out there, ready and available, so take advantage of that. Number 3 is learn to play the bass side. So for me, it's very easy stuff, usually just kind of root note things, maybe, So for the songs that I do, a lot of them just have maybe 4 or 6 chords in the whole song, and I just have to learn those root notes. But then once I kind of get comfortable with the song, I will add in the maybe a step in between so that it flows nicer. Maybe I want to lift the song a little bit, so I'll and then bring in the octave or the fifth. Things like that. Playing along with the playing maybe the chord the chord. If I'm playing I don't know if that's going to sound good, but learning the bass side really kind of boosts me when I learn it, because it's now, I've got half the song down, and I'm actually playing along to the song, and I feel like I know the song a little better at that point. So very easy step for me. Maybe there's a very intricate line in there that you're trying to learn. Get that comfortable with your left hand before you even start to put chords on top of it or melody lines or anything, because your left hand really has to be solid, because it might be driving the rhythm. It holds the bottom end of the whole song, so make sure that is in place. Minimum, get that root note, know where that is. If you know that, then everything else really should fall into place. If you don't have that and you have the other, your right hand down, but the left hand is weak, then the whole song falls apart. You can have kind of a weaker right hand, playing things, but if that base of the song, the foundation isn't there, then you're going to have an issue. So let's start with the, number 3 is learn the bass side, learn the left hand. Number 4 is learn the chords. This is right hand. So you're going to do right hand chords, and this is what I'm doing, is right hand chords over left hand bass line. And this is a part that's going to take the most time. For me, it does anyway. Because you see the chord, for example, you see what's one that I was working on the other day? It was maybe it's a G minor 7. This is one that came up. Well, I can play, if you're playing the triad of the chord, the first, the third. In a case of a minor chord, it's a minor third, half step down, and the fifth. And then if it's a seventh, then if you're using 3 fingers, then can you play that 7th note? The 4th note, the 7th of the chord. Is it possible even? So you got to make these decisions. Also the inversions. You got the first. Are you going to play that, or are you going to play the next one, or are you going to do the next one? They're all the same chord, but what voicing is going to sound best, and also can you get to that chord, from the chord before and the chord after? Are you going to be able to get to that chord easily and smoothly? And it's kind of weighing the sound to the logistics of getting your hand around. So these are all things to think about. So you may not even play the root note in your right hand. You might play it on your left hand and play the 3rd, 5th, and the 7th with your right hand. Of course, they're octave or 2 apart, but these are kind of choices that you're gonna have to make. Maybe you're gonna only play the 1 and the 5, which is a power chord, and that works great too. Depending on the context of the song, what kind of song you're playing, maybe even the kind of effects you're using, because a heavy distortion guitar, that 3rd or minor 3rd sometimes doesn't even come through, and it might even mess it up. So you just stick to the power chord and play it that way. So this is going to just take the most time when you're doing learning the song. Is okay, here's the chord, the next chord is here, but maybe there's other notes around it that makes it easier for me to get to from the previous chord. So it's hard to kind of talk about it without an actual song. I'm going to be doing another video here going over a song and actually walking you through the decisions I made on that song. So that's up and coming, but just for now, just know that these are the things that you probably have to decide when you're doing it. So that was number 4, which was the right hand learning the chords. Number 5, practice. Pretty simple, right? Practicing the song is, of course, very important. You're gonna do each section. Know that figure out how you're gonna do each section. So the intro, the verse, the chorus, and maybe there's a C section or something like that, a bridge, that type of thing. Know each part, and then you'll bring it all together. So you'll play it from beginning to end. And when you're doing that, you might find that you have to go back to step number 4, which is to learn the chords, because maybe the end of one section and going into the next one, from the verse into the chorus, the chords are, you just left the verse and into the chorus. Maybe it's just really hard to make that change. Maybe you miscalculated where each chord is going to be. So you're going to be going kind of back and forth a little bit between, putting all the parts together, each part of the song and the chords and reworking what chords you want to use in the song. This is all going to take some time. Something that I learned about from Gene Perry when he did this exact he talked about in his seminar at the Freehands Academy on how he learned songs. And if you don't know, he did a song a week. I think he ended up doing 50 songs in a year. He did I think so. Anyway, you can go on YouTube and see his song of the week, and he explained how he learned how to do the songs. And one thing that he talked about, and of course he did it on a, was it a 10 string or a 12 string? I can't remember. I think it's a 10 string, stick. So the methodology on that's a little bit different. On his left hand, he was doing bass and chords, and then he was doing melodies with his right hand, for the most part. Of course, there's always exceptions, but so anyway, a tool that he talked about in that class was a website called Loop the Tube. And if you find the song on YouTube, you can use this website. It's called Loop the Tube, and it can loop a certain section that you want to play. It's not like super accurate, so you can't just loop exactly. You might be able to, but it's very hard to do exactly. Just the chorus over and over. So you'll probably want to do a bar or two before and maybe a bar afterwards, so that you have a little intro time when it ends the video, it loops back, and you start. You hear you at least have a 4 count before starting whatever section you're trying to learn. Great tool for learning this. If you're ever using a CD, or you're going online and you got your song on iTunes or whatever, and you're trying to learn the part, and then and you get to click it and go back. Anyway, Loop the Tube does a great job, as long as you can find it on YouTube. So check that out. On a kind of a separate note, I think that everybody who's learning a song should buy the song. It's just my personal thing. If you're going to learn the song and you don't even actually own it, then come on. It's 99 cents on iTunes or Amazon. And if and I highly recommend even buying the album. You might even find more songs from that artist that you like. So buy the song. At least pay the 99 cents and support the artist. It's the least that you could do when doing this. So anyway, so please buy the song. All right, so you would think by the time that you practice it, put it all together, you're kind of done on it, and you might be. But I have a number 6, which is sleep on it. And I personally find that once I kind of get the basic chords down and I get to that frustrating part where things aren't really coming together, or, it's difficult and I've kind of practiced and I'm kind of getting tired, just sleep on it. Pick it up the next day, and I think you'll find that you've had time to kind of absorb it, to step away from it, and then you'll find that it's actually easier. You know what you're doing. Your head's clearer. You're not tired. So that that works really well for me. You know how to play it, and instead of just getting really angry about it and having a hard time moving your fingers to where you want them to be, sleeping on it really lets your brain absorb it, and get away from it, and you'll find the next day you'll be much more clear on, oh yeah, this is where I am, this is where it needs to go. All those things kind of just come together a lot easier. So that's my 6th step, and you might not agree with it, but I think it's a great one. Of course, if you're a professional musician, you need to learn things on the spot. Hopefully by that point you're already very advanced and don't need this, but this is coming from me, a amateur player who's playing for fun. Would love to be professional, but at this point I'm still learning a lot, and I find that I've never stopped learning on this instrument. Anyway, so I think it's something to learn, and also just it's part of the whole being patient on your journey, so that you don't get frustrated with it. It's just going to take some time, just like anything else. So those were my 6 steps to learning a song. I'm going to do a whole video series on me going over a song and learning a song and following these steps, and I hope you watch those when they do come out. But I did want to go through a few of these things and give you a clear picture on how you might approach learning a song that you just heard on the radio, or you've been wanting to learn, or anything like that. So again, very simple steps, but having a clear picture really helps. So I hope this video helps somebody out there who's trying to learn a new song. Like I said, this isn't specific to this instrument. There are certain things like learning the left and right side. Maybe you just have a guitar, but I think these are the same kind of ideas. Learning the song, understanding where you want to take it, finding the chords, the music, so you can play it, and then practicing it basically, and then give it a rest for a little bit and pick it up a little bit later. So I hope this helps, and like always, please subscribe down below. I don't know where it's going to be, probably over here maybe, or down here. Anyway, please subscribe to this channel. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below, and I'll be very happy to respond to you. And any discussions are always welcome. And if you have anything to add as well, please do so. Thank you very much, and have a great day.